Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you, as I pray that we always do. Have a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. And I want to let you know that the phone lines are open 678-381-1973, 678-381-1973. Our topic for the day is a very interesting topic. Our topic today is a very interesting topic, and what we're going to talk about is mm, should pastors. Now, let me preface it by saying this. Now, we say that the body is the temple. We say that the body is the temple, and if that be the case, if the body is the temple, and we're supposed to preserve and conserve the temple. My question for you today is, should pastors be overweight? Should pastors be obese? Should pastors be looking like they could roll down the aisle at any second? If they fell over, you take 10 or 12 people to help them get back up because they weigh so much. That's my question right there. That's a VP. Good morning. How you doing this morning, sir?
Good morning. How are you today?
Hey, doing good, doing good. We got a topic today. We're gonna get to the topic in a little bit. I'm just actually putting it out there, and I want to you to think about it before we get into it. But they say the body is the temple, correct?
Correct.
And you should reserve and conserve your temple. That's what's taught to you majority of the time, right? You only get one temple. You only get one, so you got to take care of it. So our question today is this right here: should pastors, our people that's in leadership, that's supposed to be leading us, should they be overweight? Should they be so big that if they fell over, man, take about 5 or 10 people to help them get back up? Should a pastor be obese? That's our topic today. We're gonna get to the topic in a little bit, but I do have something else I want to talk to you all about this morning, and definitely glad to have you with me, man. It's been a law has been passed. A law has been passed that which and I don't want to be disrespectful in how I say this, LGBTQ plus, like I say again, I don't want to be disrespectful. We have a lot of people that listen to us that may be a part of that community, so I certainly don't want to offend them. But a law has been passed that if a person categorize themselves, if a man categorizes themselves as a woman, or a woman categorizes herself as a man, they're able to go in any one of those bathrooms that they feel as though they should go in. So a man could walk into a woman's bathroom if he identifies himself as a woman, and a woman could walk into a man's bathroom if she identifies herself as a man. I have slight issues with that, brother, because first of all, my kids, if you had kids, well, my grandkids now, I don't think I want them to walk into a bathroom in a situation like that. And how do you explain it? Should you even have to? VP, what do you say to that? How do you feel about that?
I remember what this talk. What is it, about a 3-4 year old? No, it's older than that, because Obama was in president when they first started this transition of unified or unilateral bathrooms, depending on the sex. When people were really starting to go into or transsexuals were really starting to come out. I'm not like, as you get to know me, I don't like pass a judgment or making someone feel crazy. I don't think to me, this isn't like the segregated laws. Even though, we'll get into, people would debate you if it's a choice or not. It's a choice when you change. And having homosexual feelings for someone else is a personal thing. But once you change and then you try to force someone, it's the force part that people get upset about. Because there's enough money in here, they could build bathrooms. Just like you could go build you a club for you to go hang out in, so you're not worried about it. You could build a bathroom that you can go hang out in and not worry about people chastising you about it. Now, I understand, just like minorities in all the communities, you're going to get looked at no matter where you go. That's a feeling you have to get over and overcome.
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to accept you just because you want to be accepted.
That's good. Good.
It's basic logic. You're going to have to work it to the laws get to where people are okay with it. And right now, it's not some people going to be feeling okay with it, especially in the South.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's not. I don't know.
And then you got, and with the South, when you say the South, you're absolutely right, because they got this little thing down here called the Bible Belt. And because of the fact they have the Bible Belt, man, you can have a lot of people that's going to be going against this law. You have a lot of people that's going to be going against this ideology that, if you identify, if a man identifies as a woman, he could walk into that woman's bathroom and handle his business in that bathroom. If a woman identify herself as a man, and you got a couple of bros in the bathroom, and then all of a sudden, they don't handle their business, and all of a sudden, here comes this woman in the bathroom. Wait a minute, now, BP, that's something ain't right about that, brother.
It's kind of, well, I don't know, man, because America's a different country.
Yeah.
Being able to travel and see other places is a little different. I mean, it's not like I've been to other places and they just let men into women's bathrooms and stuff like that. But we are one who tries to make everybody feel too comfortable, a little too. I don't know, man. That's
yeah. It's tough.
You get like death threats and hate speech for speaking for this, and it's still all opinion based.
Exactly. Becky, if you are available, Miss Becky, I think that's reading. I hope I'm saying your last name right. Give us a call. Let me put the number up here. Give us a call, 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. The number is scrolling across the screen. If you're available, definitely give us a call. Captain Leonard, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, brothers. How are y'all doing this morning?
Hey, doing good. Hold on, man. You just say in the morning, the Morning Glow family. Hold on now. Don't be changing up on
Raheem in the Morning Glow family.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. My thing is, good morning. How you doing this morning? That's my little thing.
Just fine, man.
There you go. Leonard, I know you up on the fact that they passed this bill for the LGBTQ, and like I said again, I don't want to be disrespectful or come across as being disrespectful when I say, I don't, man. I don't want to offend nobody, but at the same time, they passed this law yesterday where if whoever you identify as, you can go into that bathroom and use that bathroom. And let me see. I'm reading a couple of the comments here that Becky said. She said we have to protect our children. She said they're in Indiana. Let me see. This one here says, I'm in Indiana and we don't like it. See that they don't like the law, because I was saying in the South, and VP was saying as well that in the South there's this thing called a Bible Belt, and it's going to be some pullback. She also said, that's the one. She said another one.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm assuming that you're referring to the Supreme Court's decision not to revisit a particular law that was appealed to them.
Well, from what I heard, that could very well be it. But I may have heard it wrong. But they were saying that they had passed a law where they couldn't discriminate or hold it against a person if they identified as a certain sex to go in the bathroom in which they identify as, be it a man. If he identifies as a woman, you can't tell him. The law says now you can't tell him that he can't go in that woman's bathroom. It's a woman and she identifies as a man. You cannot tell her that she can't go and use that man's bathroom.
I mean, like I said before, if I, matter of fact, tear the bathroom up. Point blank. If women, if you feel unsafe, raise pure hell about it. Pure hell about it, because I bet you I can't go in a woman's bathroom.
Exactly.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna go in there just like this, and I'm gonna claim that one, I'm just feeling more comfortable in a woman's bathroom. I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna stand there with it out. How about that?
I look. I like the aura, the fragrance in here so much better.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do, man. This stuff is sickening. Absolutely sickening. And one, I don't care if you are offended or not. It's sickening. Because when you expose our women like this and pretty much say whatever goes now, why couldn't I have been in the bathroom all these years? There's a reason why I can't be in that bathroom.
Exactly. Come on.
So
talk about
do not. We have to understand that there are certain things being done just for. I don't want to swear, but I don't know nothing else for. Hits and giggles. Okay. It has nothing to do with actual need for legislation. All it has to do is with people with money. This is what. Now I love LGBT community.
Yeah.
But y'all are full of pure crap about a lot of things. That's just all it is to it. And so one, you can't sit there and claim that you were excluded from anything.
Nothing.
You're in the best positions in the world. You got all the money you want. You can go and come as you please. You always have been able to do that. You could sit in any type of boardroom you wanted to. Hell, we've had gay presidents before we had a black one.
Come on.
So let's not get twisted. Let's not give this unnecessary time. For the very simple fact, it's an unnecessary and a very insincere move. Very insincere move. And it shows just how much America still cares about womanhood.
Where, and I want to go to Rico as well, because I know he got a lot to say on this matter as well. But Leonard, where have we become as a society, whereas we would even pass a law like that?
Because you allow those people in power who support this type of thing. And it's very easy. This was not a difficult thing. This is what people don't understand. It's not difficult, and it happens so fast because they have the power. This is why they don't mind doing it. This is why things have changed, because they've always had the power to do so. You know, we never would have had a struggle if I was the president. It never would have been a struggle for me to pass a what do you call it? Same-sex marriage.
Yeah.
That's not a struggle. Sure, we should have been did that. But this right here is diabolical in nature.
Wow.
So you have to understand, it's not against the LGBT community. It's against the sanctity of womanhood and where women should feel safe at in the restroom. Now they can't anymore.
Wow.
Because you'll let anybody walk in there and say he want to be a woman today. Okay.
Yeah. Today, you know,
where do you think the molesters and everyone and the rapists and everything, boy, safe haven now in the female bathroom. I'm not saying that they have a predisposition to do as such, but when the opportunity is there, straight killers gonna be in there. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Folks going in there pretending to do something else to get access to your women and girls.
Exactly. Hold on, Leonard. Let me pull Rico into the conversation. Good morning, Rico. How you doing this morning?
How everybody doing, man? Grand Rising.
Hey, Grand Rising to you as well, brother. You been listening in to what we're talking about?
Yeah. I got on a good little minute ago.
What you think about this, man? They passed the law. If a man identifies a woman, he could go in that bathroom and use that bathroom. If she identifies a man, the law says now that she could go in that bathroom and use that bathroom. Where have we become? What's really going on? And how do you explain that to your children, your young children? Daddy, why she in here? How do you explain that?
Well, I mean, you shouldn't have to explain that. I saw a video the other day where a lot of women were mad at a spa because one of the women whipped their junk out and the rest of the women seen it. They hauled butt up out of there and they went to complaining.
Yeah.
And you had people from the outside looking in, came over and started talking about she's transgender. She has rights. She identifies as a woman. And the women were like, look, she got a penis.
Yeah.
Look, she just whipped that out in front of all of us. Look, we don't feel comfortable. But they still standing on the transgender side. You had all of those women together. Some out there still wrapped up in the towels like, man, I'm leaving. We want something done about this, but they defended the transgender. So, you know, this council culture and pressure. You know what I'm saying? You got the Me Too. You got the LGBTQ. I guess that was the right order that I said that in. They have momentum. They always have had momentum. They got the same momentum that women had with women's suffrage and the same momentum from women feminism movement. And number one is divisive. And number two is, like I said, that pressure game. When you don't want to be counseled, then you got to be politically correct. I think I heard you say something a second ago about you didn't want to say anything to offend somebody. But you know what? The truth is the truth. When you get in a situation like this, you got to understand, like Leonard was saying a second ago, you got serial molesters. You got serial rapists that have gone to prison and had sex changes just so they could be near the women. Are they utilizing, they manipulating that law, manipulating that right to classify yourself as something you just choose to be. I mean, I guess they're going to put them in a zoo if they want to be a monkey. Oh, yeah, I ain't no human being. I'm a monkey. I want to go to Birmingham Zoo. Matter of fact, put me in Atlanta Zoo. I don't want to be no human being no more. So now here it is. You got serial people that manipulate a situation to get what they want. I mean, you got people that don't even want to change their sex. They will manipulate a situation, pretend to be lawyers, pretend to be doctors, just pretend to be normal, average, kind human beings that will serially kill people, like Ted Bundy, like Jeffrey Dahmer, come off as noble citizens. So now here it is, you got this potential out here for men that also are, I mean, just consumed with rape, with women, with children. They just have a deviant desire that they can't get rid of. And they might have money, because I don't know if people realize it or not, but those LGBTQ people get finances.
Plenty money.
Everybody.
Plenty money.
Man, listen, those surgeries are not cheap.
Yeah.
The way they party, they don't party cheaply. I mean, man, that culture, I don't know. Somebody told me they was even the best plugs when it come to drugs. I heard that a long time ago when I was in the game. Man, you think you got some plugs? Man, the best prices is with the gay people.
They have the best of everything. And this is what people never talk about.
They had the best prices?
Yes.
So, I'm wondering how can they afford all of the things. They play money game, they buy each other, they give each other credit in this. I mean, they just gift each other. I mean, money just flowing in that community. So now you got the opportunity to go and change your complete body design designation. Minus the penis. And then you in the restroom with these other little girls and these other women that you always had a desire for. Ooh, man, it worked. They don't even realize I'm a woman and that I'm a man. Oh, look, we get tricked. We being tricked right now with if they're men or women. Some of these women we seeing, we getting a bad surprise in the end. Oh, man, I didn't like her. You hate you seen it. So you know other women might be falling for the same trap, other little girls. So now, this is my thing. Why did they make it seem like it would be so complicated to just make a restroom for them?
Or make a restroom that everybody wanted to go to. We have unisex bathrooms.
Yeah, they have, but I wouldn't want to make women vulnerable.
Right.
Or children vulnerable. So if that may be the potential that somebody's manipulating this sex assignment thing to be able to partake in their deviant desires, make them want to be in the restroom together. Make an LGBTQ restroom. That way they can expect to see something dangle out from a woman with boobs. To see a woman walking out with muscles and not have anything, you won't be surprised because y'all already expect that from each other. But an average man or average woman shouldn't have to be surprised like that.
Exactly.
Or a child. That's the most vulnerable. We spoke about this yesterday. The children are always the most vulnerable. Nobody ever thinks about what the children like in these rules and these laws that they make. It's always about the person that's complaining. But how is that going to affect the children that are more vulnerable than that person?
Good deal.
Also, Raheem, can I also add is that one, it's not that I'm against LGBT community because I've worked with them too much. I just don't have that issue. My issue is I have boys, right? VP is a young father. And when you're training them to go to the bathroom independently, do you know how I stand and watch? I wait for my son, when my sons was young, to go in that restroom. And sometimes I will go in there and stand there just for this very reason. In a men's bathroom. So don't get it twisted. You know, first thing somebody say something, well, you just against. No, I'm not against nothing. But one, women could feel safe. See, this is just the first step. As Rico was mentioning, next thing, they in the spa. And they in the locker room.
Yes, sir.
And everywhere else. And like one, we're guys. So if you walk in there dressed like a woman, well, we gonna look at you. but we ain't worried about you. You understand?
Yeah.
People don't needs to know what has been going on in bathrooms for the past how many years? What have been going on in just weightlifting? I mean, not weightlifting, fitness clubs. Now they're gonna be in the fitness clubs too.
Penn State.
Come on, man. We just I'm just keeping it real. I don't know why people don't think this way. Not everyone thinks that way. But if you were going into the female restroom anyway, as a woman, doing your business and coming out, no one would have said anything. No one would have ever mentioned anything about you using that restroom. Because you went in there and you did your business and you come out. No one had to know you were a man or not. Why did you want us to know it was you were a man?
Wow.
Why? Why? Why did you want us to know you were trans? When you've been using that bathroom anyway. Don't think they haven't. They've been, because a woman, what women's bath. You know what? I accidentally walked in a women's bathroom one time, and I was in there and I wasn't paying. I don't know what was wrong with me. I wasn't paying attention, and I was looking around wondering where the stalls were.
Yeah.
And that's how. Oh man, I'm in the wrong bathroom. Ain't no stalls.
Yep.
So they were able to go in there, close that door, handle their business, and come out. But see, when you want to stand at that mirror and talk with another woman,
now
that's what you really want to do.
Yeah.
You really want to pretend to be her, and then when she realized, hey, this is not a woman.
You got a little bass in your voice there, Susan. Susan, you got a little. Your voice is kind of deep. Susan, what's really going on?
I would rather y'all come in the men's bathroom dressed as a woman, as opposed to going into that women's restroom.
And Susan, you don't swallow something because you got something like an Adam's apple in your throat there, Susan. What is really going on?
It ain't even about all that. If, like I say, man, this is crazy, but it was coming.
Yeah. Let me go to Tucson. Hold on. Donald Tucson, good morning. How you doing this morning?
All right, man. All right. Y'all in one of them conversations that I don't get into.
Yeah. But I just want to know.
I mean, I thought about it. And I guess that's the wrong way of thinking, but I don't think the men would have no problem with a transgender. A woman that hadn't necessarily changed her organs coming into the men's bathroom making that claim.
You said
flashing themselves. Did you miss what I was saying?
Yeah. You missed. I missed you that time. Say that one more time.
I don't think the men would mind if it was the other way around.
Okay.
If Sally would come in,
yeah.
She want to be Sam, and she come in and she's standing there, and all of a sudden she get bucket naked.
Just go back in that. Go back in that last stall, Tucson, and make plenty of money, won't you?
Actually, no lie. I had a girl, a lesbian, on the, I don't know, like is that a proper term? Like bullish, the one more mannish looking ones. Come into the bathroom,
Butch.
Whip out a wizard, prop stuff up and use it.
Yeah.
And you give the double turn like, oh crap, like this is happening. But as a man, you just move on.
You just move on.
Like, I don't know. It's I can see where Linda's coming from, where women is gonna take it way harder than men are. Way harder.
Wow, that's good. Go ahead, Rico.
No, I was just saying, man, they suffering from something up there, man. Their bread ain't all the way done. They don't like who they are. First off, obviously they don't like who they are. They want to be somebody different. But to hear that, in some atmospheres, you'll hear somebody wants to be somebody different, and you'll be like, okay, they delusional. Something ain't right. but now all of a sudden they ain't delusional. So we supposed to believe that they, because they feel like somebody totally different, that's who they are. But when you really think about it, somebody going into a men's stall and whipping out a wizard to stand up and use the restroom like me, and you, wait a minute. You really, this is like, this might get explicit, man. But with some lesbian sex, only one person is getting some pleasure.
I have no idea what Rico is talking about.
So I'm wondering, I'm just like, I've always asked them, like, what do you get out of it? The stud.
Yeah.
What do you really get out of it besides going through the motion? Now I hear they say that they got certain little toys now that can't stimulate them when they're playing that male role, but for the most part, they don't do that. And so it lets you know then that it is a mental stimulation. It's a curiosity that maybe they didn't get steered away from, or maybe they had too much personal time to idolize a man or to indulge in the thoughts of, ooh, I wonder what it feels like for him, especially if they idolize that person. Maybe they idolize their father, or they want to be like whoever their mother gave the most attention to because they didn't give them that attention. So they want to be like him. They sort of misprogrammed a little bit. Everybody doesn't receive information the same. And when they receive it, they interpret it differently. So, I believe some of these people actually turn into want to be like men because they idolize certain men that their moms were crazy about. Imagine you want the attention of your mom, but your mom being a floozy, but she talking about a certain type of male all the time. Either you might like that type of male and start being a floozy like her, and those are the type of men you attract, or you might start acting like that male. Same thing with males, they want to be like a female. They may have wanted the attention of their father, or wanted the attention of their mother, but they couldn't get it. But they were seeing that these men got their attention. So maybe they feel like if they act like this woman, men will give them attention too. And then they don't even know the type of attention that a man is supposed to give a young male. They only know that they want to be like them, or they want to be affiliated with them, so they can find out more, but they don't know how to go about doing it. So it's a lot of that stuff has to do with a mind thing, because there's no physical stimulation for a stud male. A stud female.
Exactly.
There's no physical stimulation at all. So you just wonder how is it that they are not being looked upon as something might be mentally wrong with them.
VP, what's on your heart, brother?
Coming towards the restroom area, or what Rico was saying?
Either way.
The restroom, I can definitely speak on what Rico was just saying, because I'm getting into the word more than I used to be, and this is pure Genesis fulfilled here, where the mind is deceived, and you feel like, because it looks pleasant to the eyes, you made yourself okay with it, and then on both sides, man or woman, you try to make yourself like them in that image. So this is a spiritual correction that needs to be made for some people. But it's a choice, and what you don't want to do is you don't want to beat people down with your words and not let them know they have a choice. You just let them know, I'm with you, and I'm not with you on the bathroom thing, but how you feel on your own personal image is you. And if you ever need anything, let me know. But when it comes to the bathroom, I'm not okay with it. I probably would never be okay with that. It's one of those things where the West Coast is starting to move across the nation, and what they do there was very free and open. And as they started to move from the Midwest to the South to the North, they realized, everybody don't think like we do. So they got into power, like Leonard said. They in the courts, they're in the programming. That's why you see more and more openness in TV shows, because it comes through your eyes. It looks good to the eyes. You get your mind to think about it. Now I want to be like that. It's all small pieces and fragments that need to be put together and deciphered.
Wow. Leonard, and down south here, they got this thing, and we spoke a little bit about it earlier. We didn't go in depth about it, but called the Bible Belt. How do you think this culture of the Bible Belt down here in the South is going to accept or be accepted or reject this whole ideology of whatever you identify with, you can do.
Well, y'all a bunch of fanatics anyway. There's a bunch of fanatics. A bunch of fanatics on both sides. I don't need a Bible for this. It has nothing to do with a Bible to me. I mean, I don't even know why people, but that's the game people play. Now, if you really want to talk about it where it is on the religious agenda, be very careful, brothers and sisters. The main, the goal is to defy God in the temple. One couple has already tried it. And it is to compel and force preachers to marry them in churches.
Yes, yes.
That's the goal. So if you want to take it to religious, take it there. Because that's the only religious institution in ceremony. That's the last frontier for them. Is to oppose God in the temple. Okay, so all this other stuff, let's not get that tied into people's religious preferences and all that.
So all this is just a step towards where they're trying to get to.
Yes, everything is always a step. It does not end today with the bathroom. It does not end today with the bathroom. So when black people get pitted against Asians, remember with the Asian hate bill. What is really the Asian hate bill? What is it? It's just about hating Asians.
Basically.
But somehow you felt that it was unfair for them to get a bill because you ain't got one. Go pay for one like they did. You understand? You can get what you want if you pay for it.
Yeah.
If you're vigilant about it, you can get it. If you put enough pressure on the right people, you can get what you want. So we have to understand that. And the LGBT,
even the ability to go in any bathroom that you identify with, if you put the right money.
Something that's simple, low-hanging fruit like this.
Yeah.
People talked about the Obama administration because of the same-sex marriage situation.
Yes.
That's low-hanging fruit. They had already had cohabitation and everything. Me and Rico couldn't have gotten insurance for women who was pregnant with our children, but they could have got insurance for folks they cohabitated with. But I couldn't, as a single man, get insurance for the woman that having my baby. But they can get insurance for their partner.
Wow.
So let's not get this twisted.
Well, for a long time, and you've heard the verbiage. They said we've been discriminated against. Y'all discriminated against us. Y'all holding us back and blah blah blah. The LGBTQ community, they've said that for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
But see, this is the thing about it. You can't. They're always trying to compromise it. They are a part of us. So much to the fact that they're everywhere amongst us. So it's not a thing where we would say that they were ever discriminated against because of their sexual orientation. Because they're everywhere.
Yes.
They're in the boardrooms. They're everywhere. They're in the highest positions in government. They always have been. They've always been in the highest positions in media, fashion, everywhere. They even in your church.
Look at that. Look at the entertainment industry. They're running that. They're running
this
that
notion that people somehow excluded them and discriminated against them is a bunch of crap.
Exactly.
Now, what I will say is people have attacked them because they're gay. There are certain people out there who are mentally unstable who think it's okay to attack people because they have a different sexual preference. That is completely wrong. I've protested for gay people. Even with the height of the AIDS epidemic, passing out condoms. I don't have a problem with it. That's your thing.
Yeah.
But you're not going to impose up on certain things. And this is one of them, the bathroom.
Exactly. We got a caller from the 315 area code. 315 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Friday. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you doing, young lady?
All is well.
Okay, we're asking the question, and I don't know if you've been listening to the broadcast already, but we're actually asking the question about the LGBTQ. They've had this thing passed. If a man identifies as a woman, the Congress has passed this. If a man identifies as a woman, he could go in and use a woman's bathroom. If a woman identifies as a man, she could go and use the man's bathroom. What have we come to? Why do you think it's like this? What's on your heart, Friday?
It's really about trying to include everybody in everything. So I think it's levels to that in regards to the core of the mind behind the bathroom situation and trying to address that something for everybody or include everybody in everything. There have been documented incidents of abuse and beatings and killings happening in the bathrooms, rest stops, and things of that nature. But when I say that there's levels to it, I think it's beyond just, I'm going to wake up today because I slept at a Holiday Inn Express and say I'm a woman or a man, depending on what the birth mechanics of you were. When they say identify as a woman, I believe that to the extent of the bathrooms, which poses a question for me of why is it even an issue in the first place? If you so much identify as a woman, that much, beyond the male that wants to be drag queen, which that's a whole nother entity because they don't necessarily identify as a woman, they just like dressing up as one. To my understanding, and I could be wrong, and I'm open to be educated on that. But for someone a male that identifies as a woman, everything about them outside of maybe having the finances to do mechanical corrections and to their liking embodies a woman, right? So they may be taking hormonal and they may have the breasts, they have grown their hair out, they have done all that they can do and the means of their financial ability to appear as a woman. And then therefore there's a greater threat going into a male bathroom under that statute of look, right? So to me, that's where that law is trying to protect those individuals who fully identifies, however they arrived at that notion, belief, or understanding of their identity, that can be debated. But they already look like a woman aside from the part of their parts, lower reproduction area, which you still never be because you can't create a womb inside a man. I'm not going to go there because that's a whole nother thing, right? But to the point of their liking, to fit their visual identity of who they are, they already look like a woman. In most cases, in their day-to-day operations, they carry themselves as such. So then, to me, the question is, well, if you already are that much gone into it, then just go to the bathroom. It says woman, you said if you're a woman, so go to the woman's bathroom, use the stall, get out, go wash your hands. So I don't really fully understand the need, per se, for new bathrooms or creating new signs to say, hey, anybody can use it, because I think that's now we're trying to reach. Like I said in the beginning, there's levels to it and vice versa. If it's a female that truly believes that they're a male, outside of being able to afford the mechanical recorrection or redirect parts, then you already look the part. Exactly. So nobody's probably going to really question you if you go into a male's bathroom if you already look male-ish and like a male, because that's how you identify.
Good deal.
But those that are in transition, you know, I guess I can see where that could kind of help you out, but really it's just, again, you're already doing these things to look that way, so probably nobody's going to guess.
Okay.
Or
let me do this.
Guess you using that bathroom.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, there are some people do what you want to do, but they have to make a point that really it don't make no sense. Here's the deal that I'm looking at. All we talking about is, and excuse the way I'm going to say this, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to say it just like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're only going in there to take a leak, to take a crap.
Mm-hmm.
Don't and do your business and won't going somewhere and sit down somewhere. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really.
But Don, let me ask you this question, and I understand what you're saying, but let me ask you this question: if you in the bathroom and say you got one of your grandkids, and you in the men's bathroom, and then all of a sudden here's this lady that come into the bathroom, but she identified as a man. She identifies as a man, and your grandson look at you and say, Paul, why she in here? And now you have to explain how do you explain that?
That's what you want to do.
Some you know, this is what I do with my kids. Live in your own shell.
Mm-hmm.
Mind your business.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do. I don't have time to worry about nobody else's business. I ain't got time for that.
Mm-hmm.
You do yours in 6 months. I do mine in 6 months. We got a whole year to enjoy life.
Mm-hmm.
When you start inflicting your beliefs or your whatever your mindset in my life, you gonna have problems.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do that in yours, I'm gonna have problems.
Mm-hmm.
But if I take 6 months to mind my business and 6 months to leave yours alone, I think we can go and get along pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Son, let's wash our hands and get the heck out of here.
Man, you know everybody.
Long as they don't bother you,
mm-hmm.
don't bother them.
Wow.
It's just like road rage.
Mm-hmm.
Road rage is a waste of time, and I know that's a different subject. But if you drive your car, it don't make no difference how they driving theirs. Stay in your lane and keep it moving. I ain't got time to be fussing and fighting with you down the highway when I'm trying to get somewhere. That's a waste of time. If you're going in there to use the bathroom, I don't care if you Jim and Jane in the same skin. Go on somewhere. All I'm going to do is do my business and I'm going to walk out.
Wow.
But see, people have a tendency to want to make me believe or make me feel like you are or you do, regardless to whether you're religious or not. No matter what you are spiritual or not. Do your own thing. We're going to all answer for it one day.
Yes.
It's not going to be my decision.
That's good. That's good.
You're not defiant to me. We don't have dominion over each other. You can make your own choice. Every one of us free agents.
That's good.
We have been given the ability to do whatever you want to do. It's your decision. And if you do that and you don't bother anybody else, then fine. But if you're going in there and you say you're going in there to take a leak, and then you flashing my grandson or my granddaughter, we're gonna have problems.
That's good.
That's when it creates. Don't put your hand on. Don't put your hand on me. Because I got a six feet radius around me. That's my space.
That's good. That's good.
When you get in my space, then that's where the problem occurs. Other than that, we can be fine. I can work with you. I can talk to you. I can even go to church with you. I mean, hey, we all, even in even in our churches, we have to realize that we go there because it's a hospital for sick folks. Why would I go into an emergency room and nothing's wrong with me?
Yeah, exactly.
That don't make no sense.
Exactly. VP, what's on your heart, brother?
Oh no, I was just listening. Hearing what he had to say. I think he's right on a lot of points and a little off on one where if you ignore people long enough, they're going to change the atmosphere. And nobody's saying people go in these restrooms to go rape people. I think humans have this thing where they want to make everything extreme, and that's not what it is. The thing is, there's a comfortability level to everyone. And just because he feels comfortable about that doesn't mean it's okay for everybody else to feel comfortable about it either. And that's why if you're gonna push this agenda, then you should push this agenda like Leonard said with the money. Build more bathrooms. There's no problem with that. I had no issue with the stud using the restroom next to me. But it's gonna come a problem when you can't get into the restroom because every stud has to take 2 or 3 minutes to prepare themselves to use a urinal. When it's easier just to sit down. Be in and out, like he say, right? You're changing the atmosphere for everybody. It's not it's more than just how you feel about the situation. I'm not sure if he's even been in a situation where he's had Caitlyn Jenner come into the restroom with a dress on, lift the dress up, and start using the urinal. Because you got to think, in a men's bathroom is disgusting, and men know it. So we're not going to go sit and plop our butts down on the seat to use the restroom. And just because you think you're a woman doesn't mean you don't come in there and sit down and plop your butt on the seat in a men's bathroom. They know that. So it's a chain. Now that means we're gonna have to get more urinals. It's a change that comes to it. It ain't just I clap my hands off and everything's good. That's not how it works. Just like he said, you go into a church for sick people, you don't ignore the sick. It's people that sit by the water for 30 years waiting for you to push them in.
Yeah.
There's more to it than that. There's more to it than that.
More layers. Yeah. That's good. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Stop. There you go.
We go have some issues with his feed there. Talk to me, Leonard.
I think every point is valid. Think about it. We have family restrooms. Why? But when come on, you got a little bit. This brother, a young father, he know about it. Man, I was so glad to have that family restroom with the thing where you could change the baby, change your baby and everything like that. It was a larger restroom, so you could get a stroller in there and all those types of things like that. We made that enhancement, no problem. I don't look down on people because of sexual preference or anything of that nature. So it's for me, it's not that. It's for women. And at some point, if women ain't gonna stand up against it, guess what? That's y'all fault. When you talking about, well, what am I gonna tell my kids? You're gonna tell them the truth is what you're gonna tell them. And you're gonna keep it moving. See, I'm not worried about what I'm gonna tell my kids or anything like that. I'm gonna tell them the truth. Even when I went in downtown, I used to go downtown to the underground and see all these young people confused about their sexuality.
Yeah.
And they would all be down there. And half these kids were homeless, prostituting themselves and everything. And my little boy said, Daddy, why he dressed like a girl? But one thing we do know, he running back and forth to this bathroom. You understand? So let's make sure that if we're gonna do something this way, that women feel safe. But if women are okay, let it be there. You control 50% of the voting block.
And that's what it boils down to. Let me. I'm going to put this on the board. We got another caller. We're ready to come to you next. Rico, if you would, brother, do us the honors, brother.
This transgender movement to normalize transgenderism is a problem, in my point of view. These people have a mental health problem, and we should not be encouraging people to adopt this lifestyle. But on the other hand, there are few, if any, cases of problems happening in the bathroom.
Speak on it, Rico.
I pretty much agree. Like I said earlier, some people might get offended by that, but I think that is a mental health issue, because if we saw people going out here feeling like they pretended to be somebody else or felt like somebody else, if somebody felt like they were a flower pot, we're gonna be like, man, something ain't right with that person. And so for some reason, now we see people doing delusional, illogical things, and then we're trying to make that conform to being normal. And man, I hate to say this is gonna sound racist, man, but white men something else, ain't it? White men something else. First off, you know that wasn't no black woman that's getting all this movement going. There's not a white woman that's getting this movement going. And man, Flip Wilson, black men been dressing up in dresses since Flip Wilson, and they never had an issue with going to use a woman's restroom. So you know where this came from. It came from white males that want to be women. They got the power. First of all, let me go back to something Leonard had said earlier about the Asian hate bill and black people complaining. I think a lot of people complaining about that because if there's any kind of potential benefit for that Asian hate bill, we need that benefit too. So it may not be anything to it, but just in case it is, y'all need to put the same thing out there for us. So I think that's what the problem is. It's that equality. The same problem with the women, the white men that's complaining about being women so they can use women in the restroom. They complaining about the equality, the fairness of it. So like I said, solve that problem easily just so you won't be having your way and it's fair for everybody, even the women and the children. You make your own restroom. But I'm gonna say this, I admire the LGBTQ community. And that's crazy because, in some circles, if somebody hear me say I admire that community, they're gonna say, oh, he must be one of them. That's crazy how that assumption, like I said, you can admire somebody and idolize somebody. Some people may feel like you want to be like them, and then some may feel like they are one of them because they identify or agree with their standpoint. But I admire them because of how they organize and get things done. See, we can look at all these things and debate what their rights are, but the black community should also look at how they move to get things accomplished. See, I admire them. I admire the Asians. I admire the Mexicans. I admire all of them for being able to come together and separate their differences and come together for the bigger cause and get stuff done. We can't do it. We still begging and asking to get stuff accomplished that I ain't talking about Asians and Mexicans. I'm talking about delusional white men that want to go in women's restroom and force everybody else to believe. Look, you can't make me think of you as a woman when I know what a man is. You ain't gonna make me, you're not gonna fool with my mind. You might be mentally delusional, but now it ain't right for you to try to force the rest of the world to accept that delusion. Even if you have got money to make that happen and appear that you are this person that you want to be. But they got the problem. So we got to admire that to a certain extent. I admire the organization and their structure, but I don't agree with that law. And somewhere human beings got to put their foot down and just start using logic.
Good deal. We got another call. I think it's my brother Pete. Pete, good morning. How you doing this morning, sir?
Good morning, family. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Man, how you doing this morning?
Genitalia signs, man. If you swing it in the wind, that's the sign. Use this bathroom. If you cut in tight, got a split in two lips, use that bathroom. How about that?
Put it up on the wall on the sign.
I mean, how serious is this? This is just outrageous. But you know what's more outrageous? That we don't have bidets in the bathroom. What we need is a bidet, toilet, heated water, moving, blowing air. So I propose the new proposal for the bathroom confusion. We all need bidets in all bathrooms. Who can I get us?
Lord.
Wow. For the toilet president.
Come on now.
Election season.
Man, what you gonna do about it? Yeah. Lord,
I tell you what we gonna do. I just told you. I'm gonna say it again today. Every bathroom in America must have a bidet.
A bidet. Friday, what's on your heart, sister?
Our dear sister was trying to articulate her position, and it took her like 7 minutes. And she said, and then she went from being Friday to Saturday to Sunday and came back again around to Friday to remember her name was Friday. It was so confusing. She just, you got to remember, we're talking about using the bathroom. Do you have to use the bathroom or not? Come on now. They make a funnel, y'all, for women to put up against the lips, and they can urinate out the funnel, so they can stand up and use the funnel. Or truck drivers use it. They make it for women specifically, okay? I mean, that's what you want. That's what you want. If you want to sit in the toilet, then hey, man, let's make sure they're comfortable when they sit there. And let's make sure they clean coming out, since all this is using the bathroom. We're talking about using the bathroom. Just go use the bathroom. If it's confusing for y'all that don't understand, like I said, put a penis symbol up there on the wall. If you got this, go in this bathroom. If you don't have this, you got that, then you go in that bathroom.
Man,
is that simple enough?
Now, Pete, you know good and well you can't put that pictures like that in front of them children. Talking about putting
hey, why not? You just swinging in the wind. You pulling the dress up in front of me. You should be worrying about being exposed and all that. It's like the conversations out there. Don't put the picture up on the wall. It'll limit us having to have the conversation. I don't even have to explain to the child what it is. The little boy gonna look up and say, "Oh yeah, that's me right there, brother. I got that." Little girl gonna look up and say, "Oh yeah, that's me. I got that." We ain't gotta explain nothing except wash your hands with soap and water for 3 to 10 to 20 seconds, and make sure you dry them off with towels or that thing that you pushing and blow air. Do that, and use a towel to hold the door on the way out. That's all the explaining you gotta do. Did you use the bathroom successfully?
So now,
did you have a good day in there? Yeah. Let me ask you something.
Now,
did you
people,
set up and sit down? If you sat down, I know you used that for a day. I'm back outside.
Okay, good then.
Let me ask you the question. Really a question for everybody. Do you think, because I mean, pretty much what he's saying is, number one, this entire situation, number one, is just completely goofy. I mean, this shouldn't even be an issue. Common sense wise, we shouldn't have an issue, because the thing is that it opens the door for somebody to take advantage of women if they choose to be that sick in the head. It provided that atmosphere for a woman, and also for a stud. I mean, don't get me wrong, because I've seen some studs come out them clothes, man, and they be bad. And sometimes you can tell. And some of these men don't care if you're a stud or not, because it's gonna feel the same when they do what they do. They get you out them clothes and you look the same. They don't care how you talking, if you calling them bro or saying, "Hey, but I'm a stud, I'm a man." You ain't no man. I see that booty. They ain't studying that. So it's still an atmosphere that exists. But I'm wondering, for this to be so ridiculous of a issue, could it have been brought up by somebody that had a deep, dark, sick fantasy when they were young of dressing up like a woman and going in the women's restroom and having their way? Was that the motivation to provide that atmosphere? Because if you really think about it, it's been a long time that people have been homosexual. Why now do they want to complain about using women's restroom with other women? I mean, why? I mean, no. Why wouldn't they want to use their own restroom? And so I'm just wondering, could this even be a fabrication of somebody's sick desire that now is in power and created a movement and used just the right for transsexual to use the restroom, when really they've been men the whole time, always fantasizing about being in women's restrooms and look at her. I mean, I honestly believe subconsciously that might be where it originated from, in the discussion of equal rights.
It could very well be. It's hard to pinpoint a time or what it is, but that could have something to do with it. Let's go to Friday. Friday, what's on your heart? Friday, you there?
I'm here, multitasking. Don't mind me. I think all the points that have been given is valid to the perspective of those who hold it, that address many sectors of this thing being crazy, right? But pretty much that's, which was reiterated. If you feel and look and see yourself as, go to the bathroom.
See, my thing is this right here, and Leonard, this wasn't an issue when they had outhouses. Crazy as that sound. Okay, coming to you next, VP. Come to you next. Leonard, are you frozen?
No, I'm not, right. I'm just not entertaining that foolishness that you talking about with that outhouse.
Look, it wasn't no issue when they had outhouses, man. Put 4 or 5 outhouse, them things they have on the construction site. Put 4 or 5 of them on out there in the field, so you ain't got to worry. You just go in the outhouse. They ain't got no signs up there, man or woman outhouse. You go in there, do your business.
As my man used to say, it's getting kind of hectic, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
It's getting. Y'all remember that? It's getting kind of hectic.
Mm-hmm. But see that eliminated part. Don't worry about you ain't got to worry about the cost of putting a bathroom inside your building. Don't worry about that. Put them outhouses outside the building. They need to go only one person going there at a time. You go in there, hit the left. It's a vacant. It's a vacant or it's in use. That's all.
Hey, Raheem, seriously, stop it. Hey. But this issue is really came from if you've ever been to clubs and big time clubs and things like in different places. This was the thing, okay? That one, it encourages sexual activity. So that's why you have these unisex bathrooms, so to speak, in clubs, because you can go in and out and do whatever you want to do. Everything is cool. If you want to be in there doing whatever you want with anybody, that's what it's for. That's what it's for. So this is just a step, once again, without, I mean, I didn't realize, am I out? Am I out with my heterosexuality? Am I out? Is that what I am?
I guess.
You know, that thing with out is being outed out.
Exactly.
Remember what happened to being discreet about things? What happened to that? What happened to being just discreet? Just a level of discreetness where your personal business was your personal business and my personal business was my person. Why do you feel some need?
Come on.
To exploit your sexuality? Why is that necessary? I'm a heterosexual. I don't feel any need whatsoever to let you know that. I don't. I mean, so to me, it's a lot about attention. It's a lot about spectacle. It's a lot about exhibitionism and voyeurism and all these great isms that we have used. Can bisexual people use those restrooms too? Or are you going to deny them? It's okay for transgender, but not bisexual. So what if I see myself as a woman, but I like looking like a man? So now we're going to get into it with him and tell him he can't. This is just for the transgender people can do this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got a solution, brother. Put them outhouses in the back of the building.
But what them outhouses is funny. I think porta potties are hilarious too. But I mean,
that's
women protest. Piss on the floor if that's what you protest. Protest.
BP, you had something, brother. What's on your heart?
No, I was agreeing when you said outhouse. I was like, well, you can only get one person in the outhouse, and then went straight into it. A wide. So he took what I was gonna say. He took what I was gonna say.
Just put you about 5 or 6 of those stalls out there in back of the building. Only one person can go in at a time because you ain't got room for 2. Go in there, handle your business. I don't know how you gonna wash your hand. They ain't got no hand wash.
None.
But they literally have us arguing about defecating.
And
that's
no light. And no light.
And no light. Better bring you a candle. That candle might do something to eliminate the smell. Might do something to eliminate that smell. Do something. What's on your heart, brother? There you go.
That's exactly how it used to go.
Yes, sir. Tucson, talk to me.
Yeah, I just don't know how that's gonna work. If some of the wax start falling. And anyway, I just don't try to. There was a fella, I'm gonna say it like this, and we got into a conversation, and I thought he was a normal guy. I mean, I'm not saying that anybody's normal. Yeah. That's your thing, okay? All right. So we got into a conversation, and we were talking about this, that, and the other. All of a sudden, he said, "I got wife, I got children," and he rubbed me on my shoulder, and he said, "But there's something about a man." I said, "Hold up, brother." That's when the problem occurred. So what I said is, look, the best thing we do is become the friends that we were before I came in that door.
Yeah.
Because I don't play that. So what I mean is, you do whatever you want to. And I'm not trying to cause nobody to believe like I believe or think like I think. That's how I think. You go on with your life, I go on with mine. And we're good. So, I mean, people make big deals of something like that, but I think Leonard got a good point. When y'all said it, let's go back to outhouses or porta potties. And we'd be good. One person at a time.
One person at a time.
Fine on them. And we're good.
Ain't got to put no sign on the door.
People, you don't need no sign. You don't need no sign. And Pete, man, I'm telling you, Pete got a good idea, man. I mean, make sure you clean when you finish. That's the main thing.
Exactly.
So, man, that's the lick right there.
That's it. That's all. That's all you need.
For you to want me to think like you, and me to want you to think like me, is when we get all jacked up. But people live their lives trying to make a point, a big deal out of nothing.
Yes.
That don't even make no sense. All we're talking about is how, like Leonard said, if go in the woods.
Dig a hole.
And we all be good.
Dig your hole.
Yeah, dig a hole. Join the military. And then, pack of tissue paper.
Exactly. Dig your hole.
Wrap that tissue paper around your finger and do your thing and wipe and put that in the hole too. Go on.
I'm gonna tell you how that fight gonna get started, Raheem.
What's that?
When that line get long, and she get out of line and go over there to that other bathroom. Because women have a line at their bathroom a lot of times. Now she waiting in line behind the dude. When he can come right. We welcome you with open arms in the men's bathroom. Anybody can come in the men's bathroom.
Exactly.
That's why we stand guard like
Raheem.
Yes, sir.
Why is it women go in the bathroom together and men don't do that?
I don't need no company. I'm going to handle my business. I don't need no company. I don't need nobody to talk to or none of that. I don't need no company. I know what I'm going for. I know what I'm going for. I know what I'm going for, and go handle my business. Get on up out of there. I ain't moving in.
And they go powder their nose and come back with no powder.
Exactly. None. Pete, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
Rico, to get back to your comment, brother, I feel like it contributes also to the moving of the moral compass post in the cultural structure of society. In the background, there's other things that are more important, and these type of moves lead and lend to energizing greater overall efforts. Okay, but also this is the start of no offense. Now I'll stay with the Cunnilingus Analingus National Holiday. So that'll be coming up next soon. Okay, so keep your ears close.
Put Pete in the corner. Put Pete,
exactly.
Pete, you going in the corner for that, Pete.
Send them on over there. We got one coming over there. Ain't been a minute, but we got one coming. Hey, Pete.
He out here talking about eating groceries.
Look.
Exactly. Pete, go on over there in that corner there, Pete. Go on over there. I'll let you know when you come out. But right now, you go on head over there. BP. Talk to me, man.
VP's a good guy. He's a good man. He's an
Yes, sir.
upstanding husband. And I don't need you, Raheem, polluting his mind.
We just have. I'm just.
This is Friday's loving Christian husband.
Listen. Hey,
I would This is all about. I like how he brought up trying to go into groups in the restrooms, because that makes up the difference of the mindset of someone who's used the public male restroom their whole life and those trying to enter it now and think that that's the culture we have there, and it's not right. As well as Leonard brought up, which I would kind of brought up a little, is if they do want to switch over, if you're in the women's bathroom, because we go to the club and the women's bathroom is usually 50 people deep, and the men just walk in and out.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of women who will identify, or studs for sure, who identify and will just cross over. And most men are pretty, I wouldn't say gentle in nature, but what's the word I'm looking for? Chauvinist, where they'll hold the bathroom for them. Yeah, they'll, and all right, it's a couple women in here to use the restroom. It's always more solutions than just trying to make one thing concrete. Because even women know when they come out the club bathroom, they don't want to go in. The girl don't go in there. I don't know what they doing, but they peeing on everything. They peeing on everything. But sometimes people got to learn that.
Yeah,
they got to learn that as well.
Wow. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Phone lines are open. 678-381-1973. Give us a call. Let us know what you feel about. How do you feel about this whole situation? Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it just a sign of the times? Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Most times when these issues come up and they become on a major platform, it's best to look at what's the worst that could happen. Decide whether or not it's even worth entertaining. And the worst that can happen is that you have people take advantage of young children and women. And when you know that option exists, then I put it this way: the person that's making the biggest argument should be that considerate. Staying okay, yeah. I feel like a woman. Like I said, white men is something else, because it ain't nothing but some white men that want to be women that's making this argument. You ain't even really hearing studs out front talking about all this mess. It's always the white men that want to be women. So like I said, and like I said, I admire the fact that they were able to get that to the table, but only a white man could do that. I look at the worst that could happen. The worst that can happen is that you start having people dressing up like women and attacking women. You have some men going to the extreme. Like I said, there are certain stories of men going to prison and having those sex operations so they can get in women prison. It was a rapper, Young Thug. Matter of fact, he's on the main platform. He's a mega superstar. And he says that if he ever has to go to prison, he's having a sex change so he could get over there with the women and have as much sex with them as he can. You willing to sacrifice? I mean, that's a heck of a decision to make, but just the vulnerability. To me, I'm going to be honest with you. This entire agenda is to make young children comfortable with confusion and to expose them to the possibility that they could be like this, because children should have they shouldn't have to experience that going into the restroom, seeing a woman standing up using the restroom or pulling something out accidentally. They're gonna be a little confused. Then 3-year-old Zaya Wade running around here. See, that exposure and that influence to me is the biggest risk that could happen. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I think those are the intentions. I think the intention is to make it seem like in general that we're fighting for the rights of transgender, but really and truly you're trying to make it more comfortable and make it easier for young children to be exposed to the lifestyle. I think it's meant to influence them and get more people into living that way.
Leonard, what's on your heart, Leonard?
Not much is on my heart at all. But you know, it's an issue, and you have to remember, I can't support people who are only concerned about their point of view. Even with race, like a lot of people disagree with me. I look at every issue 360 degrees, whether I'm for or against it. But they never do that. All they want you to do is to celebrate them. It's all about them. They could care less about what anybody else thinks or how they feel. It's all about how they want to live. But now you're going to say, I'm discriminated. How? What evidence? I ain't never seen a sign say no gays can live here. I've never seen anything like that at all. I've never, you know, I have supported and stood up for transgender people who, if they take a smoke break, a police harasses them because they're talking about they soliciting. That's how serious I am about the issue and protecting these people because of how unfair it is what other people do to them. But now I'm not going to sit there and allow you to do something to other people. I may like it, but no, everything you do not right. I'm sorry. Everything I do is not right. Everything my children do is not right. And at some point, you have to take into consideration. I'm not saying give over everything. Take into consideration how other people feel. Don't come at me and your main thing is you got to understand me, but you don't understand nobody else.
Wow. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Now, y'all know we have not even gotten, it's 8:45. We haven't even gotten to the topic for today yet.
Well, I hope your talk ain't about 15 minutes long. How long is your talk?
Man, that topic going to be 2 hours and 10 minutes. Okay. You hang out with us?
Maybe.
Let me kick it off right now. But before I do that, let me go to some tell me two songs. I got some on his heart real quick. Before we leave this topic, Donald, what's on your heart, brother?
No, I just thought about everybody. Everybody's rights has surpassed us as a people, and they're willing to give in to everybody but you. They never told none of them, go back to your country. That's about it. That's it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? When they say freed you or whatever you want to think you are, you still don't have no rights. And how many percent of a person, a human being, are you? Everybody else can stand up for their rights, and they give over to them.
Wow!
But to be treated as fair, just fair. That's all. They're not willing to do that at all costs. They say if you don't like the way you're treated, go somewhere else.
Wow, that's good. VP, I'm gonna catch you in the middle of your eating, brother. I see you over there chowing down, brother. I'm gonna catch you in the middle of it, and I'm gonna ask you the question. This is our topic for today. And
you're wrong with that. You do that on purpose too. Every time you see somebody doing something, you're like, I'm gonna get him.
Catch him right there. Catch him right there. catch him out there. But VP, we always talk, and you and I spoke about this earlier in the broadcast briefly. We always say that the body is the temple, and you should conserve and take care of the body because it's so important. And they tell us that. So with that being said, should pastors be overweight? Should pastors be overweight? What do you say to that?
I say yes, because you have to take out the religious teaching we done had all these years of the body, physical body, the one that's made of dust, will go back to dust. The one that's in your mind, the temple, because it's your thinking. It doesn't matter. You can not drink, smoke, cuss, whatever, and your mind can be corrupted. So a lot of people got confused that your body or the temple is the physical body. Don't get me wrong. If your mind's messed up, you're gonna mess up your physical body. regardless. But if you can go through this whole life clean on your physical body, but on the inside where your temple is, because that's where you meet them, on the inside, not the outside, then it's what comes out of the temple. It's not what goes into it. So for some people, you can be larger than life. For example, T.D. Jakes was overweight. What comes out of his mouth is what creates his character, not the outlook of what he looks like. The Bible says in Matthew 15, 11 through 20, Jesus Christ told everyone, he told his disciples, it's not what goes in your mouth that comes out, because you're going to defecate that. It's what comes out of it who makes you. But 10 to 11 says, when he called the crowd together and said, listen and take this to heart. It's not what you swallow that pollutes your life, but what you vomit up. Later, disciples came and told him, did you know how upset the Pharisees were when they heard you say that? So those who think they know the scripture so well are the ones who get upset about what the appearance of a man looks like. So they sit on the corner screaming, holy, 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 in their robes and looking nice. But on the inside, they're dirty. But on the outside, they look clean. And Jesus shrugged it off and said, every tree that hasn't planted by my Father in heaven will be pulled up by its roots. Forget them. They are blind men leading blind men. When a blind man leads a blind man, they both end up in the ditch. Peter said, I don't get it. Put it in plain language. And that, I love Jesus, because when you get it on different versions than the King James, it's realer. So Jesus replied, and this is the message. You two are being willfully stupid. Don't you know that anything is swallowed works its way through the intestines and is finally defecated? But what comes out of the mouth gets its start in the heart. It's from the heart where we vomit up evil arguments, murder, adulteries, fornication, thefts, lies, and cussing. That's what pollutes. Eating or not eating certain foods, washing or not washing your hands, that's neither nor here nor there. Matthew 15, 11 through 20.
See, y'all didn't know VP was a pastor, did you? Y'all didn't know that brother was a pastor. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, preach, preacher.
No, I'm not a pastor. I look at God like, they want you to look at God like, so you look at the sky, and you guys know before street pollution came, we used to see many stars. It wasn't just the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper, the constellations. People want us to look at the sky and look at God just for the constellations. It's not that. If you get out of where you're so blinded by the lights, you can actually see who he is. Then you see the sky is full of stars. Some that you can't even name. Some so dim that you didn't even know they were there. But it takes you coming out of a basic understanding of what you think the world is, or how you thought the world was taught to you. You got to get a real personal relationship.
That's good. That's good. Brother Pete, should pastors be overweight?
I don't think the body was created, in my understanding and studies, to carry excessive weight. From time to time, a woman with pregnancy, things of that nature. But the body was meant to be maintained, at a certain level. So I don't think anyone should just walk around with excessive pounds on them if they have the means and the ability to do something different. Certainly, when you start getting off into the spirituality of truth and spiritual beliefs, I don't want to say religious beliefs, spirituality. I think different forms and all forms of worldwide known spiritual formations have a concept of how you should maintain your body, your temple, your person. So with that, in that regard, no, you should not be slack and slothful in maintaining your personal body.
Toussaint, what do you say to that? Should pastors, thinking about how they say the body is the temple and the body is a gift and all the different things, should pastors be overweight?
You're too late. Most of them already are. They always came to the house and they got the best piece of chicken.
Yeah.
Sitting up there And I don't know if you remember, we had a large family. And I always wind up with the chicken back or the neck.
Mm.
But the preacher come in, he gets the breast and the thigh.
All the meat.
All the meat. And he said that big burping, and I'm just trying to get the last piece of the neck and put the bone. But you're too late, brother. Most. I'm overweight for my size, my height. And I like to eat. So, but to one thing that was said already, we look on the outward appearance, and if you dress up this outward shell, this outer shell, but on the inside is what really matters. Fat Willie, they have a good heart. And Slim Jim may be evil as all get out. So, but you too late, man. Most preachers, they eat pretty good.
Wow.
And the doctor tell them, they doctor tells them, you need to lose some weight. And he prays the Lord all the way on the outside and go right to the restaurant and get him a buffet.
Rico, what do you say to that, brother? Should pastors be overweight?
No, they should not be overweight. But I'm gonna get back to that. There's one point I want to make about that last topic that we didn't get a chance to make. The potential of a transgender man being in the restroom with a woman is dangerous because we have to understand this one situation that lies in place. Most of those women won't be able to defend themselves against those men. Men that's making the argument to use the restroom with those women can overpower those women 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10 if they choose to, especially if you got one transgender in there. So we always got to remember too that that's one of the issues that comes up. I don't think women are making this argument. You have men complaining to invade their space, and those women cannot protect themselves against those men. So we need to make sure we keep that in mind too in that argument. Now back to this about the pastors being overweight. This gift of life that we have, we're supposed to respect it and cherish and take care of it to the fullest extent.
Absolutely.
If a pastor has this gift of life and then his other gift is to spread the word, he needs to try to be as healthy as possible so he can spread the word as much as possible to as many people as possible, as long as possible. I mean, if you could word till you're 100 years old, that would be the best thing you could do. Now, you look at people that live to be 100 and 110 years old, they don't have these big protruding guts. They're not obese, very slim, and they'll tell you what they did to make it that long. But how much respect would you be showing God to disrespect the life that he gave you to just be overweight and obese and unhealthy like that? See, to me, if you're overweight, that's an indication of overindulgence. That's an indication of laziness. It's an indication of greed. There's so many different things that you see when you perceive when you look at an overweight person. There's so many things perceived to happen. So many different indications that tend to contribute to them being overweight. That is against the word. Overindulgence, if I'm not mistaken, is against the word. Greed. So when you look at that, they may be preaching the right word, but when you look at them and you can tell, man, they sweating profusely and they're huge, that blood pressure messed up, the hypertension kicking in, that heart disease is a step behind it, and they ain't fixing to be able to preach this good word too much longer. So I mean, how much can they honestly be respecting and believing in that word if they are ready to indulge in all of these man-made cravings and desires and take themselves off this earth, or themselves off this earth by being unhealthy and overweight? So a pastor has to lead by example.
That's good. That's good. Friday, what do you say to that? Should a pastor be overweight?
Should they be? I know I switched up on y'all. I'm not on the phone anymore. Haha.
Yeah. Good morning.
I think the word should makes that question all the more of, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say irrelevant, but we can say should about a lot of things, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. So to tag that and say, should a pastor be overweight? Well, should a pastor have long hair? Maybe they are relating to a person in the Bible and say their hair is their strength. You know what I'm saying? So should they have a one denomination church? Should they have a multi-denomination church? I think VP really and I don't know who was just speaking made it clear, like overweight is a choice because of what is seen good to the eye. One of the gifts of the Holy Spirit is self-control. So we all have areas where we're struggling in and looking to faith to help us achieve or overcome it. And so that's an area, if their pastor is overweight, they shouldn't have a mindset of being content in being overweight. They should identify that as an issue, submit it to the word, and look for that self-control gift of the Holy Spirit to come and help them control their intake and have wisdom, right? If we're talking about pastors and this is the line of operation of alignment they're working in, then let's pray for wisdom. Let me be wise about what I'm consuming. Is it a problem eating chicken, fried chicken, or any other high greasy food, Chinese food? No, but the amount, the frequency, those are things that fall under self-control and to have wisdom about.
Good deal. Good deal. Leonard, what do you say to that, man? Should a pastor be overweight?
You know, really, a lot of times I wouldn't say nothing about these types of issues for the very simple fact is, who am I? Who am I to determine or to judge whether or not somebody can pastor or not based on their weight? Can he have cancer? Like Miss Friday plainly put it. So what about long hair? Can he have long hair? What about if he got an earring in his ear? Just put it like maybe you just don't like him. But matter of fact, if you're so obsessed with the way the preacher look, go be a Seventh-day Adventist. One of the cornerstones of their denomination is physical health and hygiene, I believe. You know, I believe they changed their diets and everything just to be a part of the Seventh-day Adventist church. So, you know, you have to think about it, because if you're going to say that for somehow, because really what you're saying is God can't work through that person. That's not for me to decide. God blesses a lot of people. God blesses handicapped people. God blesses all types of people. Guess what? God even blessed women. Remember when some of y'all, you know, wouldn't even let women in pulpits and everything. So this need to justify someone else, especially when it comes to faith, I think is a bit unethical. Of course, I'm more concerned about a person's health, not so much as it relates religiously, but just their health in general. There are a lot of preachers who have died, and it wasn't because they was overweight. So, I mean, I don't know how that, like you said, we talk about T.D. Jakes, who is one of my favorites. I've never run into too many people who can teach the word like and preach the word like he does. And he's definitely struggled with weight, because I read his book. He talks exactly how he got his weight size he was. But then again, his daddy was a big man. He's a large man. And he talks about the challenges of being a preacher and preaching on the schedule that he was having, and how everybody feeds you. And you eat at nights, and you traveling and you doing these types of things. So it was just naturally If you're not careful, you become unhealthy. But then also, let's understand how you criticize.
But let me ask you this question, Leonard, and I can agree with that because I know everybody do feed the pastor. You know, every house you go to, they want to give him a plate. Pastor, we got a plate for you. But my thing, how much does self-discipline and self-control have to come into that? Because because I offer you a piece of candy, you don't have to eat it.
Well, I can't confuse that with the higher calling. I can't. I mean, I won't. What is significant is that the person is called to preach. That's what's significant. I don't care if they do it from a hospital bed. The calling is more the priority. Now you can get your body together. You can get your body together, but I'm not going to say that one person is any more called to preach the gospel than another person when it comes to this matter. And I'm not going to intervene in that at all because it's unnecessary. Paul had a thorn in his flesh, whatever that may have been. He could have been overweight. He could have been obese. But that thorn was in his flesh. But did it hinder Paul from preaching the gospel? I don't think there were too many hindrances to preaching the gospel.
I think, and this is just me talking my own personal preference. Everybody got their own, have their own. I think there should be a certain level of responsibility that should go into when you get on as a pastor, because you are the example. You are that example.
Well, you shouldn't be drinking alcohol and all types of things.
Okay, that all that's fine. That's absolutely true. But my thing is this right here. You have to be that example, that role model, if you will.
As a matter of fact, you shouldn't be even divorced.
And no, well, life happens. But my thing is this right here. I think on a physical standpoint, watch this.
You probably shouldn't have children outside of your marriage.
Probably shouldn't. But that's you're throwing all different elements in here, and we're talking about a specific thing. And so all those things are totally different from aside of what we're talking about. And my thing is this right here. Watch this. We got a call. We're going to go to the 816 area code in just 1 second. But VP, let me ask you this question. What is your favorite car?
As of right now, all time. I really like that Land Rover Defender.
Okay. I go out there and I get you a perfect one, perfect for you. And I give it to you. I say, brother, you've been a good brother, man. I want to give you something. Here you go. If I came back to you 6 months later and it's falling apart and it's dirty on the inside and the motors, man, knocking and all kind of things, man, you didn't take care of it, would I say that you valued the gift that I gave you?
No.
That's the same situation with I think, and from my viewpoint, and people could look at it differently. It's okay. That's fine. You don't have to agree. But I think that's the same situation when it comes to the body. That's the same situation. God gave you a gift, and have you walking around sluggish and like Rico said, overindulging, committing sin, because all those things. Those are sins that was committed to allow your body to get to where it is. Because if you was doing the things that you were not supposed to do, your body would not look like that. And so you have committed sin in order to get to that place. And are those sins against man or are those sins against God? I say those sins are against God. And so that's why I say what I say. We got somebody from the 816 area code. Area code, what's your name? Where you calling from? 816 area code, you there? That must be K with an E.
Why are we waiting on K with an E?
Play.
I want to add. Why are we waiting for K with an E? Because her mute button may be messing up. Are we saying now that physical appearance somehow should be acceptable in terms of faith?
No. What we are saying. No, what we
Why
are
would
saying.
God call a fat person?
He didn't. Maybe he did. Maybe the person became
that type of thing right there.
No. Maybe he did not call a fat person. Maybe the person became fat after he went into the ministry.
But see, that's not all. That's
we just spoke about was him having to go all the different, him or her going to all the different places, eating and doing all different things and overindulging.
Because let's get down to it. There's a whole bunch of sin. The sin is called gluttony, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. So if you're going to talk about gluttony, you have to talk about gluttony as a sin.
Mm-hmm.
Your preference
Mm-hmm.
should have no impact. I can't sit there and say a man ought not be able to preach because of his weight.
Mm-hmm.
That don't make sense to me. Or I wouldn't value him any less because he was a bigger person.
That's not what we're saying. We're saying that.
Well, what are you saying?
I'm about to tell you. We're saying that his shortcomings in sinning, because gluttony, as we both have stated, is a sin. And if you start off a certain way, in order to get to overweight, obesity, and all these things, certain things have to take place.
Because I'm overweight.
I am too. If you're eating healthy every day, if you're eating healthy like you're supposed to, you're not going to get to that place. If you're doing the things that you're supposed to, you're not going to get to that place. And so in order to get there, and I'm going to tell y'all, one of my issues is I wake up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I go get me a bowl of cereal. 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm eating a bowl of cereal, man. All that doggone sugar that's in that cereal. You know it's not right.
So did you think about what Jesus would do or whatever? Does that actually happen?
He probably pray and fill me up. Fill me up. Oh, I was about to sing to y'all. Go ahead.
And it's church full of people, church full of sick people. And when I first seen you post this question, I didn't know where you were going with it.
Mm-hmm. But that's what. But spiritually, and like it's been said before, when you're sick, that's where you go to the church. That's where where you're supposed to get your healing. You go to the church, and then you go to the church. You see somebody up there that's sicker than you.
Mm-hmm. See, I agree with Raheem. Raheem, you pretty much hit it on the head with me.
Mm-hmm.
And that the pastor shouldn't preach because he's overweight. You're saying the pastor should address that.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of his flaw. That's part of the sin he's still indulging in. The gluttony, the overindulgence. Maybe a pastor can drink, but it's also been said that he shouldn't overindulge, right?
Yes.
Everybody can drink according to the Bible, just don't overindulge. Gluttony is that. This life is a gift.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't you just say, you know what, you only live once, eat steak 3 times a day. Be greedy. To you, don't be rude and turn it down. Eat it. Till you get down and sleep no more. Just be nice. Because, the reason why I gained all this weight, because all these good people would feed me this food and I just couldn't turn it down. No, you over it. But what you talking about? It's still a mindset. Whether it's physical, choice, religious, whatever mindset in this life. See, this one life, and I'm not even a page. But God ain't saying, well, I'm going to give you a slide on this one because this ain't got nothing to do with religion. He's saying, you know what? You overindulging. You know you left them other people's house, man, and then you didn't turn that other food down. You mean to tell me get up on this stage finna preach this afternoon service and you uncomfortable because you ate too much?
How full do you want to be?
Indulgence.
Mm-hmm.
Should a preacher be a bodybuilder?
Nobody's saying that. We're just saying if that's your flaw, understand that's your flaw and address that. Just like we're working on ourselves, that pastor has to work on himself because this gift of life is just that, a gift. So protect the gift of abusing.
Mm-hmm.
It's been spoken against gluttony. We already know that gluttony is a sin. So why are we gonna say, well, it's okay for him? I mean, it's okay for him to preach the word because he knows the word, but the devil know the word too.
Mm-hmm.
That's like for me when it comes to this topic, I like using the stories to visualize. So I kind of want to visualize myself like Jesus was just playing in the sand as the people came around and started trying to criticize the woman for adultery and have her stoned. Mm-hmm. What happens is God sits on the sideline while people try to stone you. And what's happening is if your congregation was really your congregation, if your people heard God in you, they're going to see that you are having a discipline problem. And your elders and your deacons should be able to come to you and give you that issue. And after the people stop stoning you, God will get up from the dirt and you say, all right, don't do it again. Because that's the discipline that comes with that. Mm-hmm. Raheem is correct all the way through. Rico is correct all the way through. Because for you to be a disciple for God, you got to have discipline. Now, I misunderstood the question. I thought you meant if he was just already fat. Like he had the gift of just being a good guy. Like kind of like Big Papa. The man's voice was magical. He got his gift. Ain't nobody had a problem with him being a fat boy. But because we don't view that as a good thing, even though he changed a lot of people's lives and actually, you know, his community was uplifted just from what he was doing. We don't view him as a good person. He's not on the pulpit. So we got to find ourselves a lot of times saying, as Christians in our walk, people gonna stumble. When he don't want to get back up, that's the problem. Fall 7, but get up again and keep going. I think also, if you're going to a church and you don't hear God from a big preacher, then he probably wasn't called. And he's just there for the gluttonous portion of it. He learned how to take advantage of the tithers. He's learned to take advantage of the hospitality ministry and the deacon ministry. He's learned how to take advantage of the community that he's surrounded in. So I think the picture in all is, where is your walk? Because you have to, you know, we want to out like me. I want to throw stones all the time, but I have to stop and say, you know what am I not doing right? Because somebody could look at me and want to throw the same stone for a whole different topic. Maybe I ain't the perfect husband. I know I ain't the perfect husband, but somebody throw some stones at me for it. But at least give me a chance to get over. Now, if the man don't want to get over it, then he wasn't called. And that goes to Leonard, where you say, you know what, I'm not gonna judge you for it, but you may not. You probably ain't supposed to be here. Because now I'm starting to see through you, and I ain't seeing God in you.
Exactly. Brother Pete, you still there? Brother Pete, are you still with us? Might have lost Pete. Donald Toussaint.
I think that there is no place in society for people with issues. That's what we're saying.
Pretty much.
You start picking out. Not you. I'm saying we start picking out what we like and don't like or dislike, and then we want people to mimic us. Or we try to clone people for our satisfaction. And we begin to be repeats of Pharisees and Sadducees and scribes that say, all of y'all get the hell out of here.
Okay.
Shut it down. Shut it down, Toussaint.
I don't think that that's where we're going. But like I say, again, it goes back to where I'm saying responsibility, and who holds the responsibility. Because like I say, if you're going to get up there in front of the people and say, well, you shouldn't sin and you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that, and God says that you should, and I'm looking at you, and it's quite obvious that you've sinned, because look at your size, brother. Look at your size, sister.
Well,
you sinned as well. You sinned as well.
About it is that you got to first look in the mirror.
Absolutely. But see, that's the thing that they're not doing, though, Toussaint. That's the thing, because they're up there saying that you shouldn't do this. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But no. But what I'm saying is, for instance, TD Jakes. He's a big dude. He might not be fat. He might be big boned. But that's a preaching machine.
Yes, sir.
He's a preaching machine. God, and we can't argue with him. He might, perhaps he got faults. But nobody's going to argue whether or not God called that dude. You can't dispute it. You may not like him. You may disagree with the way he stands, the way you might, whatever. But listen to the word. Had you heard the words that come out of his mouth?
Absolutely.
Now, how many people lives have been changed for the better because of what he says and how he says it? And you can't deny another thing, that, and regardless to whether you are Christian or you can feel, or there's an anointing in it.
Yeah. Okay.
He can be on his way to the restaurant.
But Toussaint, one of my issues is this right here, Toussaint, and I agree with what you're saying. Yes, God has used him to move a lot of people and to pour them. That's absolutely true. But are we so tied up in the giving an individual passes and not looking at the reality of the situation? And the reality of the situation is gluttony is a sin. And so because of the fact that he's doing all the great things, are we going to overlook that gluttony is also a sin? Just like all the other sins, we can't just pick one and say that. Okay.
But if you're not in gluttony, you're a liar. Or you're something, and sin has no levels. There's no big sin and no little sin. There is just disobedience. So all of us, in some kind of way, are disobedient in some way or another.
That's how you wind up with all these sexy preachers.
So with that being said, we also putting ourselves in a situation, a category, and or a situation where we're picking and choosing. We're saying we're going to identify this day. Okay, we're not going to deal with that one today. We're not going to deal with that one today. We'll deal with that one tomorrow.
Just what you gonna do? Okay, let's. What can you imagine? What would happen if all of the old overweight preachers, pastors, bishops would quit today?
God will call other people to come and still carry. God's word is not going to go. It's not going to stop. It's not going to go dead. If they decide they're going to stop today, God's going to call other people, because just like he was going to give you a blessing and whatever that blessing is. And if you didn't act on that blessing, God's going to give that blessing to somebody else.
Ain't no sense in me doing right then, because I definitely can't get into heaven.
He's going to make the decision for God.
That with all this fat, I can't get into heaven.
Well, no.
There you go. You know what? Let's get rid of half the women preachers, because they way too big. They way too big to be preaching. They way too big to be preaching, talking about God talk to them and they fat. God don't talk to fat people. Everybody know that, Raheem.
See, the beautiful thing about the conversation that we're having right now is that we actually able to embrace each other's opinion, thoughts, and opinion.
I know women, Raheem, who have left churches because they too attracted to the pastor.
Okay, that's a personal thing. I have nothing to do with that. But my thing is this right here: we cannot get to the point where we just overlooking certain things, and I think that happens too often, and it's too frequent that we give people passes, and we got to stop.
Y'all been looking over all these babies outside of wedlock. Y'all been looking outside of these alcoholics. Y'all been looking outside of life. Shut the church down.
It's not a y'all situation. It's not a y'all situation. And what I do say is if you're sick spiritually, you should go to the church, and the church should be able to help you, because that's the hospital that you need to go to. Rico, you wanted to say something, bro?
See, there's an obvious thing in this. I guess people may want to overlook it if they like to eat or whatever. I don't know what it is, but the truth is the truth, regardless of the fact. Okay. Say for instance, you get to speaking the word. You have a movement, man, that no one has said. If I put it to you this way, you start attracting people in a way that nobody's seen since Martin Luther King Jr. Process of you doing this, and you getting this attention, and you motivating people. You go from 300 pounds to 350 to 400 to 600. Now your health getting bad. You can't even fly from place to place you need to. You're starting to cancel dates. Now people Zoom calls with you, but pandemic is over. You have a gift to heal people. Pow! But now you can't heal people because you can't travel the way you used to, because you don't double in weight. You take 2 airplane seats. When they bury you, they're gonna have to use a piano case. So now here it is, you're not able to utilize this gift that God gave you to not only heal people with your mouth and with your presence, but with your healing touch. You can travel the world like Creflo Dollar needed a jet to travel to Africa to do God's work, right? I need a jet to travel to Africa to do God's work, but they might have to put you on a cargo plane. It'd be too healthy for you to get on this plane because your heart disease is so bad, your health is so bad that is a health risk for you to travel to Africa or to Guinea or wherever. So now you can't do your job that God blessed you to do. He gave you this gift to go around and heal people, not only just in your local community, but to go around the world and heal people and touch people and raise them up from their dire position. You ain't helping do it. Why?
Exactly.
Because you still participating in things that abuses this gift of life that God gave you. So you can't reach your potential. You're participating in gluttony and greed. You're still tempted by food. And you won't make the effort to remain disciplined so you can continue the work you're doing. But see, in the process of seeing this flaw, I'm receiving this word, and I'm seeing also indications that you got a problem with being disciplined when it comes to food. And if you had a problem with strippers or little boys, you might have a weakness for that still too, because we are human. See, this is just the one flaw that I see that I know you still got a problem with while you raising people up from that situation. Other problems do you have that you still indulging in too while you preaching this word? Because I'm not persecuting you, but at the same time, I have to keep in mind to not be surprised what I may hear of you if you are already still suffering from these problems and it's showing in your weight. See, that's really an indication. They say you ain't supposed to judge people, but don't get me wrong. You know what the color red is when you see it.
Exactly.
He's doing some things that he's overdoing some things that he shouldn't be doing. He has a weakness. Has a weakness that he can't fight. If he gains weight after he started preaching his word, he go from 450 to 600. Oh man, he can't fight this problem. God ain't enough. So you got to understand this. You ain't saying that he can't preach the word because everything he's saying is true. The devil get in the pulpit and speak the truth. What he's saying is true, but at the same time, he might not be able to fight it.
Wow.
Semi-truth. He can get in there and speak semi-truth. He can't speak the whole truth.
Wow. 816 area code. Are you there? 816 area code. Are you there? Going once, going twice. 816. Okay. Good deal. We're gonna keep this thing going. We lost Leonard. Hopefully, we'll get Leonard back in a second or two. But let me go. Is Friday still with us? VP, is Friday still with us? There she is. What's on your heart, sis?
It's a good conversation. I don't know that it's too much that I need to add to it. I mean, my position is still the same. And one of the fruits of the Holy Spirit is self-control. And we all have access to wisdom by just asking for it if we follow this belief. So when it's all said and done, try the Spirit by the Spirit. And the fruits of a good tree will still it's going to be good. And fruit from a bad tree is going to be bad. And it's a lot of people that's going to say, I prophesied and healed in your name. And the Lord is going to say, I know you not. So these are just what the truth are and is, and to the point that we all have something. And I just believe that we have examples in the Bible where God has used a lot of people who had elements of different sorts. And they were able to do great things. But they still had to address that issue for themselves.
Absolutely. That's good. That's good. Now, who do we still have on the phone lines? The phone lines be acting up over here. Tell me who I got on the phone lines. Toussaint, you there?
Yeah. I'm here.
Talk to me, brother. Talk to me, brother. Come on now. Bring.
I'm just want to pattern myself, not trying to discredit or build anything or tear anything down. But I like the writer on the ground mentality. Jesus listened to people bringing stuff up about what goes on in other folks' lives, and he just sits there and write on the ground as if he didn't hear them. Because when you start, not saying that you are, but when you start judging right and wrong in other folks' lives, you got to start looking at your own life and say,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I got issues.
Mm-hmm.
There's something wrong with me. Something. I might not be fat with it, but for my size, I am overweight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean my height,
Mm-hmm.
based on what they say. But I like to eat. Now, do I have self-control? Yeah. I don't, because my doctor say that, hey, you got to stop eating after 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you like that spicy food, but it's going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I have to wait for the doctor then to look at myself? What I'm saying is, I have seen, and based on what I do, and I go to scripture. I may not be the smartest, but I try to look at scripture, and I look at how sometimes most people with illnesses and shortcomings and faults, they were not allowed in the temple. You had leprosy, you had this, he was caught in the very act, but that was not fair the way they did that. They brought the woman, when last I checked, it takes two to tango.
Yes, sir.
Okay, suppose he is, or she is. But then when you look at them and you try to, and I don't mean any harm by this, I'm saying this, but people on the outside looking in, trying to make decisions for righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't want no parts of God, Christian, Jesus, nothing of that. You don't want no parts of it because you're critical of church folk, which are not Christians. Because you don't understand, or you can't distinguish what's a Christian or a church folk or spirituality. You don't know the difference because you scam through the word or through scripture, or you read a book about the Bible, but you don't read the Bible, and which is not all in there. Let me say it a different way. You don't check with God about nothing. You check with the people that are of the world. So then you come with your opinion. Well, this is a man that stands not in the counsel of the ungodly. I don't listen to you. Because if you don't check with him, then you have no advice for me. So what I'm saying is,
follow me as I follow Christ. What you're saying basically is follow me as I follow Christ.
Not necessarily. Because I can't do it. I can't. I wish I could. I wish I could follow to the T. But I can't. And I'm going to tell you I can't. Ain't no use me lying to you and say that I'm mount up. Because some of the things that we have discussed today, I've been through and done that. So when I try to go to another brother that has fault, I consider myself. Otherwise, I'll be tempted. I don't have no opinions for folks.
Yeah.
Do the best you can with what you got. And hopefully, God knows your heart.
Okay. I think we have Toya with the T. Toya with the T, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Hello, y'all.
Hey, good to have you, sister. Good to have you, sister. Asking a question. How you been listening? You been listening this morning?
No, I've only heard 2 songs.
Okay. We're asking the question, should pastors be overweight? Should pastors be overweight? They say the body's the temple and the body's a gift, life is a gift, and all that things. So should pastors be overweight? What do you say to that?
Oh, don't matter. No, that's being petty. Stop. No. Who cares? Who cares? That's why you can't listen to the word. Talking about pastor being overweight. Who cares? People gain weight for all kinds of reasons. And you're too skinny. You on drugs. What? No, that's a distraction of the devil. What are you talking about? Somebody overweight. Oh, well, who cares? No. There's a lot of things you need to be talking about. Him not drinking, him not smoking, him not cheating, It's a whole bunch of other things that he can do to defile his body other than eating too many extra Snicker bars. Come on with the jokes.
Okay, but my thing is this right here, and you're absolutely right in what you're saying. You're absolutely right, but at the same time, we passing over the fact or the idea that gluttony is a sin, just like all those other things that you said. And if
that's not true.
Gluttony is not a sin.
Listen, people don't always get big from gluttony. People are not always overweight from overeating.
Okay, we talking about the ones that are though. Actually, we talking about the ones that overindulged in eating and perform this sin of gluttony. That's what we're talking about.
But this is you have to be specific for that. You know what I'm saying? Because just because somebody big don't mean it's from eating. Do you know you can gain weight from not eating? You can gain weight from being hungry, not eating when you're hungry. Your body produces sugar. Your body eats the sugar. And because of your metabolism, you can gain weight. So we have to be specific.
Okay.
You know, but no, isn't that judgment?
Okay,
you won't go to church and judge the pastor for having gluttony versus
let me say
you
this.
sitting at home
let me say this.
Having a child molested husband.
Let me say this right here to you. What we're talking about from where we are right now, we're actually talking about from the ones that has committed gluttony, had overindulged in food, can't push the plate away from them, and like Rico said, they started off a certain amount and then end up 400, 500, 600 pounds because of the fact that they're overindulging. Now that to me is a sin. Gluttony is a sin. That's one of the deadly sins, they say. So are we going to overlook the fact that this individual, be it male or female, has committed, is telling us not to sin, but they're also committing that same sin, the sin of their own.
Everybody sins. We all sinners, though.
But
true or not true?
Yeah, but my thing is right here. When you're in a position of leadership, there has to be a certain amount of responsibility that goes along with that. No.
Stop. If we all sinners, are we sinners or not?
That see, Toya, you're not listening to what I'm saying to you, sister. But answer your question. But to answer your question, yes. But answer your question, yes. But my thing is right here.
Does that mean that they don't sin?
No, Toya, you're taking this in a totally different direction, sis. You're taking it in a totally different direction. What I'm saying is a certain responsibility have to go into it, and because of the fact that he's doing these things, he's not holding up to that responsibility. That I think, and that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Might be wrong again. But my thing is, gluttony is a sin, and you can't get up there before me and preach certain things to me. Tell me don't sin, and it's obvious you've committed the sin of gluttony along with other things, overindulgence, and all the other things that go along with it. That's just it's hard.
Right.
Yes, we got some background noise from somebody's line. Y'all mute your line for me, so we don't have the background noise. Go ahead, Rico.
In most situations, if a person is having a weight problem and it's something that it can't help, like from a disease, I know certain people get lupus and different things like that, and it affects them different ways, different diseases make people gain weight. That would be understandable. But for people to come and say, well, that's judging, and because it's a simple question. It really is a simple question. It's not really judging them and saying should they preach, should they stop preaching. We're just saying should they be overweight. If they're actually, preaching against certain things, then they shouldn't be. But if it's going to be flipped around to the fact that everybody sins, well, let's say, should pastors molest children? I'm pretty sure we get a simple yes or no answer out of that. Pastors molest children? Should Catholic priests molest little boys, altar boys? Should Baptist preachers go around the congregation and sleep with the women in the congregation and sleep with the deacons' wives? Or are we going to say, no, that's not right? You see, the thing is, I'm not judging. If I see somebody get butt naked in the middle of a highway and start flipping it around in the road, I'm not judging them as being crazy. I'm assessing that something ain't right. If I see a pastor that's having a weight problem and every time I see this pastor, he's stuffing his mouth, I'm assessing that he's overindulging. I ain't saying he got to stop preaching the word. Raheem didn't say he wrong for preaching. He fat. He didn't say that. He just said, as a preacher, you probably should watch your weight. That's part of self-discipline too. You're indulging in gluttony. You may not realize it. See, because we all do sin. But if we want to get technical and say, well, this is a worthless question, Okay, well, we'll never ask if it's right if Catholic priests molest children or altar boys. And we should let them go to strip clubs and participate, be tricks with prostitutes. Let them participate in human trafficking, sex trafficking. Some things we get very passionate about. Is it okay for pastors to participate and get caught in hotel rooms with 16-year-old girls off a back page? I think somebody would say no. So it's the same thing with this question. We ain't judging. It's not judging. It's just an obvious question. Being overweight is abuse of the body. It takes a certain thing to get overweight. And if you have that flaw that will have you getting overweight, then you might need to address that sin.
VP, are y'all there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was trying to get this camera. It was starting to loosen up, so I was trying to fix it.
Okay. Go ahead, brother.
I think what we so we can visualize, because I'm a visual person. That's how I get spoken to. So to visualize it, I think we need to get over the overall picture of a big pastor, because I think that's what people are coming for. Is the big pastor look? What if your pastor's 25, called young 25, and he starts off physically fit, and as he starts to go, 3 years in, now he's 325 pounds. The blessing, sometimes people get blessed and they don't know how to stop receiving the blessing. And that's what you guys are talking about, is when you lose your discipline, the congregation sees it. And you shouldn't have an issue with somebody coming to you about your weight, because their healthcare, just like Tanya was saying, that some people Toya was saying that people gain weight without eating. That's a fact. Okay, we can argue that fact. But what y'all are talking about is somebody who's coming in maybe physically fit or not all the way physically fit, and then they slowly become a roly-poly. I wouldn't be so hard on a 55-year-old pastor, because he's not going to be able to do the same things I could do at 38 years old to keep myself up, besides eating and or not overindulging in the world itself. But if you're young and you're getting big, kind of like Michael Todd, he's the new guy out there. Michael Todd was a beanstalk, but as he started getting blessed, he learned from himself, because you always walking. It's 24/7. So he had caught himself starting to balloon out, but he has no problem calling himself out. There's pastors out there that don't want to do that. They want to call you out. And that's what Rico is saying. There's people who want to call you out, but then they don't want to call themselves out and say, you know what, maybe I should lead by example, because I'm leading you guys. That's the issue. I think people they're going to ignore a lot of the conversations. Going to come in and saying we're judging, but we're not judging. It's almost like it's a care. You're caring for the individual, but because the way we've come up in society, caring looks like we're pointing fingers and judging. Oh no, you don't look like Bishop Bishop Long, because he was buff. That was a buff pastor, but he also gave himself cardiac arrest trying to look good for somebody else, and died of a heart attack at an age that he shouldn't be pushing like that. Food diet, not your physical diet.
Exactly. Toya, I heard you back there, Toya. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm not sure. Can you hear me, Raheem?
Yes.
Okay, because I had to make some changes to get on the road. But, I have a certain opinion about it, and my pastor does not have to be visually pleasing. So I'm not into that type of thing, because, that just morphs into something else. And then it'll be something else. I mean, you go to certain churches where certain churches are more about advertising. I've noticed a lot of young preachers now. They look like they want to look like the world looks and preach the gospel, I would say.
Yes.
To be more attractive to people. So, we should be very mindful and be very careful at that type of vanity.
Isn't that the same, pretty much the same idea of what happened with Kirk Franklin when Kirk Franklin came out? He got such a backlash because they were saying you're trying to bring that church music, that club music into the church. But what he did was he reached so many people and brought so many people in to understanding and appreciating gospel music.
Because they know. I just think that pretty soon you'll be able to exchange one thing for another, and it'll become even more convoluted. So far why you should be going to church.
Absolutely. I can agree with that.
To me, I'm the type of person. A lot of times with my religion, if things are not pertinent to salvation, I don't really get involved with them.
That's good. That's good. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Are you talking to 816K with Kansas City?
K with an E. I've been talking to you for the last 45 minutes. You ain't said nothing. K, we got another caller now, but go ahead, K. I don't call your name out 6 times. You ain't said now word, not now.
Look, I had a phone call. This young lady's son done ran away. I got 2 of my niece. Her son ran away. He's 15, and another lady's son ran away, and he's 16. And I told them that some kids run away because they're hurt. I remember when I ran away and I was hurt because my mama didn't tell me who my daddy was, and I found out different, and I just ran away. But I ran away straight to family members and didn't know they was family. On my real daddy side, it was my niece and her husband and my nephews. I had no idea they were family. So I thank God for the coverage. But I just told her keep her lifted up in prayer. And when he come home, I told my niece, don't whoop him.
Okay.
Talk to him.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
He got his own job.
What's the day? What's the day?
Tuesday.
It ain't Wednesday, right?
No.
So we got a topic today, okay? We got a topic. You don't change the whole. You don't call in. You don't change. See, look here. You don't call it and then change the whole topic to what you want to talk about. And see. I'm just saying we got a topic today. Now we do things a certain way around here, okay? Now you've been with us for a while. You know that. Now we do things a certain. Let me ask you this question: Should pastors be overweight?
What you talking about, Willis?
She don't care and change the whole topic.
Okay, now look, I knew the topic because I was on there and I had that call. But nah, you asked me, do pastors
should pastors be overweight?
Okay. Should, but that's not for us because in general, people in general shouldn't want to be overweight. I was overweight. I am 5 feet and I was 197.3, and I am too short to be that big. I didn't want to be that big. My mama was a big woman. I don't even know where it came from myself. I guess I was just too happy. I don't know. They said happy life. I was married. I don't know where it came from, but I was big. Then when I wasn't married, I got big again. So I was like, what is going on with me? My blood pressure had me big. And I was big. So when I went to the doctor to realize I had high blood pressure, I lost it because I'm a small frame person. I should never be that big. And I was too big. So it wasn't me, but it was my health. So sometimes it's a health reason and we can't do it. Sometimes it's a thyroid or all kinds of things. Like I have a cousin. There's nothing she can do. She's in heart failure right now. And there's nothing she can do. Because she's literally been big. So it's nothing she can do. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. So you pray and you ask the Lord to protect you and take care of you. And he does. I have a neighbor across the street that's real big. When she got over here, she was walking on a walker. She could barely walk. I said, Deb, you can lose that. I started telling her what to do. Try that coconut oil. It would help you lose that weight. Deb is walking on her own now.
That's good. That's good. And Kay, I know you're serious about what you're saying because you put the whole weight on that all the way down to the 0.3. I said, oh my God, she even put the 0.3 on the end of it. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, good morning, brothers.
Bishop, man, just the man I wanted to hear from this morning. I need to ask you a question, man. Should pastors be overweight?
Well, I can't say. I think Casey has some real about the weight issues of some people. And it's so funny that you asked that question because your help needs to be at its best when you're delivering the word to the people.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that shouldn't hurt his ministry because he may be a little bit massive weight-wise.
Mm-hmm.
If he's on any form of medication, then you need to consider that may be a factor. The reason he's a diabetic or hypertension, his eating habits, so he needs to control it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I look at it.
If it's just a situation, excuse me, health reasons aside, if it's just a situation of gluttony and he's just overindulging, what type message is that sending, and what type of responsibility is he or she taking?
Well, the message he's sending is that he's not being responsible as it comes down to eating. You don't go to the buffet and eat the whole buffet. And I want to clear a myth, because I hear people say a lot of times gluttony is a sin. I said, when you say that, show me where it is in the Bible, then I would say amen. Being a drunkard is in the Bible, but eating excessively will not send you to hell, it'll send you to the hospital. So
which can in turn send you to hell. But that's just
but that ain't gonna send him to hell because he ate all the ham hocks and all the oxtails and pig feet and collard greens. That ain't what's gonna send him to hell. What's gonna send that man or anybody to hell is their heart is not right. They demonstrate hatred and jealousy and envy, and then they do everything they can to destroy someone else's life. That's what's gonna send them to hell without any repentance towards what they did to the individual. But at the end of the day, being in the ministry, and it's funny because from my frame and my height, I was over 200 pounds. But see, I was in law enforcement. So if I'm walking around here 112 pounds, and I get into an altercation with, an assailant of some sort, and he can just sling me all around the room. So my weight for me was sufficient for me to be able to control and handle myself, and then be able to handle the assailant regardless to his size. In the ministry, when you're eating because you're invited to everybody's dinner, you don't use any form of discipline not to eat all the stuff. So that's what you have to really be careful. And I get invited to a lot of events and dinners, and I know how to put what on my plate, eat what, and then leave the rest alone.
That's good.
Yeah. So I think it's a great topic though, to topic of discussion. But you also want the air clear with people don't sit there and think, because anybody, whether we preach anybody, that if they eat in abundance, that they're going to hell because it's a sin. It is not a sin.
Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, I was glad VP came and said that earlier, because I think people have to understand when things are looked at as a form of concern and not judgment. So I look at it from me personally, from a personal standpoint. I always have wanted to help people and be a benefit, make a contribution to the betterment of mankind. And sometimes I was doing some things that would limit my ability to do that. Some things I did in life, including gaining weight, a lifestyle that I live, it actually could have put me in harm's way, and I could have been killed, and I wouldn't accomplish my goal of helping people, of being a benefit to other people. So I think about the fact that I'm just doing that in my little space, and I'm not a preacher. I'm not trying to deliver anybody or lead them to salvation. I'm not trying to, bring them into God or anything like that. I'm just trying to get people to do right by each other. Just try to be a better person by example. And I can't accomplish that if I don't live long enough to get it done. If I eat the foods and I sabotage my body to the point where I'm having health issues, and I'm bad, high blood pressure, hypertension, I'm in danger of dying, having strokes or whatever. I won't be able to accomplish my goal. So what I would have to do is change up some things so I can have another day, another year, another 2 years, another decade to accomplish the dreams and to help benefit my mankind the way that I want to. So out of concern, if I happen to meet a preacher or a pastor that has this type of appeal over the public, and I see the movement that they have going on, I'm going to feel the same way about him. You know, well, hey, man, I like this new pastor. Man, he going to build a church up. The church going to get full. We're going to get all kind of new members and everything. And you can see the growth. But in the process of seeing this growth, a year later, you start seeing, hey, man, but they don't like to pull away from that table, man. Yeah, man, I watch that too, man. And then, you know, every now and then we get to drinking, but he go a little overboard. He got a little inebriated. Yeah, man. And he started saying some stuff out the way to these women. Well, you know, he got a good thing going on, man. You know, you don't want to judge him and say that he ain't no good, but at the same time, we need to reel him in and let him know that he might go in the wrong direction and lose this momentum, and he might not be able to accomplish these goals that he's trying to accomplish. He might not be able to do the job that he said God chose him to do and called him to do because he's overindulging in these other situations. So I'm not judging him, but out of concern, I want to let him know that, look, you may be limiting yourself.
Yep.
What you got going on, like you look at Louis Farrakhan. They don't know who to expect over the nation of Islam after Louis Farrakhan leaves here. But he every attempt possible to extend his life. He know he ain't got long. He'll tell you all the time, I ain't got long. But he's every effort he can to stay here as long as he can to keep doing the work of Allah. That is number one. He is obligated to do the word, to preach the word of Allah. And all do that is being alive.
Yep.
And we not.
Toya, you gonna say something, Toya? And that they do have somebody lined up to
I just said, and we not obligated. Like who appointed the pastors to only be obligated and not us?
Oh, I said we are too. I said that's why
everybody want to be perfect and follow the word, and then he just taught to us to follow the word, but they don't really expect us to follow what they teaching. So only they the ones that got to walk by that standard, and because we are the student, we don't have to go by that standard. I disagree. I disagree. So, right, what we're not comparing overeating to child molestation. I can't see you touch a child, right? You have to get into the pastor's business to know that it's gluttony, because there's too many sicknesses and illnesses that help you gain weight. And if we do get into the pastor's business and do gluttony, I think that's too much. I know a big pastor right now. His name is John Hagee. Yes, he has gotten older. But it's at the end of the day, you know what I've learned with the Lord? I listen for his word. I listen for his word in it. You understand? Because at one point in time, I didn't listen to white pastors because I didn't feel like they can identify. You know, I could find a sin in anybody. You know what I'm saying? Body at temple. So what I mean, I'm supposed to take care of my hair, not cut my hair, take care of my teeth, take care of my eyes, take care of my legs, take care of my body, take care of my this, take care of my that. See, God is so loving and so universal. The only people worried about the little petty stuff is us. He loved us so much, despite being fat, a murderer, a killer, and anything else. And I understand what you're saying about gluttony. However, I'm not there for that because different things happen. Things are a test. Things are a test. I'm not going to listen or respect my dad because he's fat.
But what happened if you failed the test?
I'm not going to listen or respect
what happened
my
if you
dad
failed the
because
test?
he's an alcoholic.
What you would have taken? What happens if you fail the test?
Well, I failed because my father was an alcoholic and I listened to him. He taught me a lot of Bible words, a lot. And he was an alcoholic, you heard? You ain't hear me what I said. He was an alcoholic.
Yeah, I heard you.
So he was sinning. He taught me the Bible. He taught me to be righteous and be good and be all that, but he was an alcoholic. He wasn't supposed to be an alcoholic. So why would I listen to him? Huh?
See,
why would I listen to him, my father?
Somebody was about to say something. Someone was about to say something. Who was that?
I'm finna tell her go to Matthew 15:11-20.
I have to go.
And that's why
you got to go, Leonard.
Because
yeah.
All right, I appreciate you, brother. Tell everybody what's going on at 3 o'clock today before you get out of here.
If you did not get a chance to hear the show in its entirety, you can log on to www.bkmmediagroup.com at 3 o'clock Eastern today.
Good deal. Appreciate you, brother.
The only thing I would like to add right here is that I am so glad that God is not like man.
Absolutely. And I second you with that, brother. I definitely second you with that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we look at here, we all be in trouble because everybody got their own opinions, brother. And that's one of the things that make the Morning Glow and the shows that we do here. So I love them so much because it gives everybody an opportunity to voice their own opinion, whether we agree or disagree. It's okay if we don't agree. It's okay. But hopefully we all walk away with something. Hopefully we all walk away with something I didn't look at it that way. Or somebody can say something, oh man, I didn't even think about it like that. Man, that joker, man, even though it sounded as though we was arguing or having a heated discussion, he said something in the course of that, man, or she said something in the course of that, man. I gotta go check that out. Because man, I didn't even look at it in that way. PP, that's one of the reasons why I love it, man. I love it. What's on your heart?
Oh no, I'm just gonna two things. I'm just going the reason that she heard her father is because she heard from his heart, not his actions. So Matthew 15:11-20 are gonna help her out. Also, we should start really thinking of people like the woman with the issue of blood for 12 years. 12 years this woman had this issue. And let's not just look at it blood, let's put it in any context. Alcoholism, food problem, pedophilia, whatever. Unless you want to be healed. And that was the issue. She wanted to be healed from the problem. And that's what you guys are at is, all right, people want to put it in other areas, but you're saying you see the gluttony problem. Which is a sin, because if you're eating wrong, you will plug up your heart, or you'll give yourself a stroke, or you'll get obese, and then you can't do anything. And overindulgence is what it is. But
you can make up your heart to be strong.
Yeah, you can't see like you feeding your mouth ain't feeding your heart, and that's where the coming from is me feeding my mouth ain't feeding my heart. But my mouth takes me away from the purpose of where I'm at, because now I'm feeding my mouth and I ain't teaching the people because my mouth is full. So we got to keep looking at everything all the time and not just one way or the other way.
Good deal. Good deal. Man, we're about to get out of here. It's straight up and down 10 o'clock. Rico, I see you got something on your heart before we get out of here. What is it, brother?
Oh, no, man. I agree with everything everybody was saying. What Toya was saying, too, we do have to walk that same path. That's why I went on the health kick that I went on. Only so many bad diagnoses that you can get before you start realizing, man, you know what? I got to make more of an effort. What I'm doing to myself is damaging myself, but I say that I have dreams and aspirations of doing this and accomplishing these goals. I can't accomplish those personally. So now on the outside looking in, if I could feel like that as a regular person, and I can look at a pastor going through these same things, I can also have the opinion or the assessment that, you know what, he's not going to be able to continue to accomplish his goals if he continues being unhealthy.
Exactly. K with the E, what's on your heart, sis?
I was just listening and what Toya said, and I was just thinking, because my pastor is a big guy, but I have a friend that's a big girl, and she always she got her confidence. So I was like, come on and go to church with me. So she finally went to church with me. And, she was like, well, what kind of shoes they have? Because I'm a big woman. I said, girl, come on and go to church with me. So it kind of helped her self-esteem, because to see that the pastor was a big guy, she felt really better. She felt better about herself altogether. And I just told her, I said, you always say that because you're a big girl. I said, Kwame, you ain't seen me when I was big. I said, my mama was a big woman, so I have big tendencies. I can get big if I don't watch myself and watch what I eat. I said, so that's just God. God will use people to let people know that those are still his people. Like pastors can be big too. They still pastors, they're still people. And he don't have no low self-esteem because he's big.
That's good.
And so it helped her. It literally helped her going to church with me. So I don't have a problem with it. I can't have a problem with big people because I can be big. I talk about somebody big. He blew me up. I used to talk about fat people.
Now, Kay, now you know it's time for us to get out of here now. Now, Kay, you're gonna talk for 45 minutes. Lord, my Jesus.
Had you on hold for an hour.
Had my home for an hour. They ain't gonna come here and try to talk 45. Try to make up her time. I'm trying to make up her time at the end of the show. Hey, look here.
I was doing God's work on the other end.
Okay, God's work. Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Bishop, what's on your heart? Bishop, you there? Bishop, I'm about to say it to you, brother. Wake up.
Where's Badger?
Badger, he taking care of some situations, some personal situations. He'll be back with us soon. Taking care of some personal situations. Okay. We are about to get out of here for today. Let me put VP on the spot. VP, I'm gonna put you on the spot, brother. Unmute your line. Yeah, I'm gonna put you on the spot, brother. Pray us out, man.
Oh, okay. Father God, come humbly and grateful and thankful for another day in fellowship with a lot of great minds and great spirits and hearts of this world that you bestowed, that your glory will go about, answered to every call and movement that they are. Father God, I am blessed myself and grateful for the honor of even being a part of this radio show and meeting new faces, knowing that I was where I was in my life. You are right time type of God, and I'm just overall thankful for that, Father God. Father God, as we go about our day and everyone is on their own path, I ask that you put a hedge of protection over them, that you bind all those enemies that want to come before them and against them as they go about their life. Bless them on their meals and make it a nourishment for their body as well as for their spirit. And we do all this in the Lord Jesus' name and pray. Amen.
Man. Y'all didn't know you ain't know people was a preacher, did you? Go ahead, preacher. Preacher. Hey, man. Listen, man, it's been a great broadcast. Toya, you want to teach something? I'm laying back to you for a second. Toya, what's on your heart? Toya, she done hung up. She like K. She like K with an E and can't find that mute button. It must be K with an E and Toya with a T. Is when they got them letters at the end of the name, boy, they can't find the mute button. But we're gonna get out of here.
Leonard couldn't find it.
Huh?
And Donald Tucson couldn't find his one day.
Donald Tucson, she calling you out, brother. Donald, you there? Tucson, you there?
He said, I'm doing a K. I can't find the mute button.
Good deal. Good.
I just love that K with an E t-shirt. I don't need it. My spirit is strong.
There you go. And K got some nice t-shirts the other day, didn't you, K?
I sure did. I got some real nice t-shirts. Two of them.
Absolutely. And
today.
Huh?
I'm gonna wear one today.
There you go. You need to come on the broadcast and showcase and let people see them what you see them what you want, see them you with them on. I can't even talk this morning. But listen, it's 10.
Right. I'll do it for tomorrow. I'll wear it tomorrow.
All right, good deal. It is 10:06, man. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is 10:06. You're about to exit the Morning Glow, but before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light in you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. And if you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Y'all take care of each other and have a great day.